No one's seen it get splashed. So she's first. Start out. Then we'll have a video of Ryan herself. That's what's part of the white arts. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead. Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to welcome everyone to the 2024 Greene County Fine Arts Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We're excited to welcome these amazing and talented people back to Greene County to celebrate their accomplishments, both past and present. A few thank yous before we get started. First of all, I'd like to thank Dave Heupel and Becky Greiner for putting together the criteria for our Hall of Fame. I think they did that a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. Last year was our first induction class, so this is the second class to go in to our Fine Arts Hall of Fame. I'd also like to thank Rick Moraine, Wes and Victoria Anderson, who along with Dave Heupel served on our selection committee. Thank you to our tech department for helping with the live streaming. That is on our school YouTube channel, which is live right now, and then it should be archived if you want to go back and look at that. I believe the channel is GCHS YouTube. So you can look at that if you want to go back and watch it, or if you have family or friends that could be here tonight that might want to watch that as well. I'd like to thank our custodial staff for the work they do to help set up for events. And then Ram Fanatic is our student class that takes care of our social media and promotion for our activities, and the slides that you're seeing up here were created by them. So we want to thank you, Ram Fanatic, for that. And last but certainly not least, Misty is not here right now. We're hosting soccer out at Landuska Field, so she's going back and forth. So she's not here, but she does an outstanding job. She did all the programs, the memory tables. She gets the reception set up, organizes all that. So if we can give those people a round of applause, I would appreciate it. Tonight we have a remarkable group of people being inducted. Their accomplishments in the area of fine arts are outstanding. I'm so glad to be a part of celebrating them tonight. Unfortunately, not all of our inductees were able to make it tonight, but we do have an acceptance video from our inductee who could not be here. So without further ado, let me introduce our first inductee. Our first inductee is Penny Johnson Hogan. Penny is a 1976 graduate of Scranton. And from an early age, her talent in music showed in elementary school as she performed a solo in the 5th grade Christmas operetta. As she continued through school, recognition for her talents did not go unnoticed. During high school, she was instrumental in encouraging others to join her in small groups that would go on to earn 1 ratings all 4 years of high school. In addition to that, she would earn a top rating for her solo selections every year in high school. And it was in her junior year that she convinced others to join her in a quartet to try out for All-State Music Chorus. Not only would she be selected that year, but she would follow that up with another All-State honor her senior year. Her teacher, Mr. Bob Rebb, credits Penny with inspiring others to try out, and many others to be selected to the All-State Chorus following her work, because she was willing to step out when very few were willing to accept the challenge of trying out for All-State. After high school, Penny decided to make music her career. She went to Simpson College to major in voice and education. From there, she headed to the University of Michigan, where she received her master's in vocal performance and opera in 1982. Since that time, she has served as a voice professor at several colleges and has been at the University of Mary Hardin, Baylor since 2001, serving as the conservatory voice instructor and holding other various positions within the university, including being an assistant professor and area coordinator for applied studies since 2018. In addition to her teaching role, Penny has spent many years performing professionally in opera, oratorio, and musical theater. She and her husband George have performed countless duos and have co-directed opera musical theater productions for more than 15 years. She has received numerous awards and recognition throughout her career, including being a finalist for the Metropolitan Opera National Auditions Mid-Atlantic region. She's been named the Outstanding Young Women of America list, and she has even been given the key to the city of Natchez, Mississippi. So if you're ever going to Natchez, Mississippi, see Penny? She's got a key. Penny and George reside in Texas. They've been married for 35 years. They have 2 sons, Max and his wife Carmen, and Joey and his wife Jessica, along with 2 granddaughters, Sophia Lauren, and Miley Jean. And also, let's not forget Rocky, their miniature schnauzer. Now, interesting point. I, too, have a miniature schnauzer named Rocky. If you want to take him home tonight. Penny will or already has retired. You have a few more days left.
I'm about to spill those beans while I speak to everyone.
All right. So let's welcome to the Greene County Fine Arts Hall of Fame, Penny Johnson Hogan.
Wow. Can you hear me okay? Because, you know, I am vertically challenged. Can you hear me? So I don't have to do this? Okay, great. Wow, thank you. That was a lot, and I'm laughing at what I was hearing over here to my right, but I will be doing the same when you all get up here, I promise. I would, of course, like to thank the committee from the Greene County School District for nominating me to be inducted into the Fine Arts Hall of Fame. It really is a great honor to be recognized in this way, but you know, as most of you probably noticed, one of these honorees is not like the others. Yeah, I told my husband when I got the email with the list of inductees, I had to giggle, and I do a lot of that giggling, right, Nancy, Kevin? And they all graduated from high school somewhere in the 2000s. So anyway, and I rather like that bicentennial year, 1976. Yes, that was the year I graduated from high school, and I'm very proud of it. Yes. But really, to be, want to make it very serious because this is very near and dear to my heart. I did a lot at Scranton Consolidated School because that's what we do. We do lots of activities and lots of things when we go to small schools, right, Dave? It's a wonderful, wonderful thing about growing up in small town Iowa. I was very concentrated, yes, in music, in theater, in performance, and I loved that. And yet, when I got ready to go to college, I was going to become an English professor. And that was what I was going for. And Bob Reck said to me, God bless you, Bob, he said, Penny, why don't you go and audition for a music scholarship? You know, like a voice scholarship? I said, really? He said, yeah, really? So the rest is history, and that's what I did. And I thank Bob and many, many other people for that. I'm not going to be emotional, I promise that I would not be, but there were some people in my life that I do have to mention, and because they were part of my youth, and they have so much to do with why I did what I did. God ordained, yes, absolutely. My path was God ordained, but if it weren't for my 2 best buddies, Nancy and Captain, who are here tonight, which warms my heart so much, I texted them and said, "Are you coming?" And anyway, I won't tell you all the conversation there, but we sang together all the time. We really did, and it wasn't just for school functions. We sang at each other's churches, because believe it or not, we actually, all 3 of us, we went to a different church. Eventually, Nancy and I were at the same church, but we sang constantly. We sang all the time, so they had so much to do with me building confidence and building that incredible love that I've had for music, but I've had it since I was this high. And I promise I won't sing for you my solo that I still remember here from the Christmas operetta when I was Mrs. Santa Claus. I won't torture you. I can't remember. I can remember this very much. I can't remember some other things, but I can remember the words to that song. So anyway, and there's another person, along with my blessed, oh gosh, my family, my extended family, my sisters, my brother who is now in heaven, and mom and dad, and also there, but my sister Becky and I'm the baby of the Johnson siblings, and Becky and I sang together all the time too. And I'm sorry, this is a part where I promise not to be emotional, but we have been praying for Becky. And some of you know our dear Becky Joe. And she's turned a corner, and we know she's getting better, and we know she's going to get better. But Becky had so much to do too with the singing. We sang constantly. We sang hanging from the corn when the corn crib was empty. We'd hang from the rafters and sing because it was great acoustics. But all of that to say, this is why I do what I do. I was fortunate because I did have a performing career. I traveled, and that's when I met my husband, and he was doing the same things I was doing. And I was like, wow, can you really like meet someone and fall in love and you both do the same thing? It was really awesome. So I spent my life performing, teaching others, planting seeds, planting those seeds of love, of hope and commitment, because it takes a commitment to do what we do in the fine arts, right, guys? And we've raised a beautiful family in the midst of it, and that makes me so happy and so excited. And now I'm going to retire. Yes, as Dave said, May 10th is my official last day, so I'm here hanging out, you know, for my official retirement on May 10th, and then I have to move out of my office, and I'm so ready for that next chapter. So I just quickly want to leave you with some words of encouragement. Dream and dream big. Right? Yeah, you have to dream big, no matter what it is you want to do in life, whether it's the fine arts, whether it's sports, you know, whatever it is, whether it's trade. But you have to do that, and you have to spend your life pursuing it. You set your mind, but you set your heart. You set your heart's desire on what you want to do. Don't ever give up. Don't ever take no for an answer, because it doesn't make any difference that you grew up in small town Iowa, on a farm in Iowa, and I'm very proud of that. And seeing Coach Hall, wow, yeah, I was point guard, 7th and 8th grade year. We were the bomb, let's just say, right? We never lost a game. But anyway, I was short and low to the ground. That's why I played point guard. Not that I was so athletic. So anyway, I could still ball. But being from this place makes us real. We're real people, and people love that. In a person, because it's just instilled in us, in our hearts. And so I just want to say, act on your dreams, pursue them passionately, don't take no for an answer, grow, learn, and hone your craft, and remember that dreams don't work unless we do. Thank you so much.
If it makes you feel any better, Penny, I was 4 years old when you graduated, so at least one of us up here was alive. There is I failed one thank you I omitted, and I apologize for that. I want to thank Bet and Bev's. They were a generous donation to help sponsor tonight with our reception. So let's give Bet and Bev's. Our next inductee is unable to be here tonight. I'm going to give his bio and introduction, and then we have a video that he sent to us for his acceptance speech tonight. But our next inductee is Ryan Van Gilder. Ryan is a 2001 graduate of Jefferson Scranton. Though through the guidance of middle school band director Dick Bentz and high school band instructor Becky Greiner, Ryan developed a love for music and playing trombone. During his time in high school, Ryan was named as an alternate to the All-State Band as a sophomore, and then was selected to the All-State Band his junior and senior years. In addition to that, he toured with the Luther College Celebration Iowa Singers and Jazz Band, which was also known as the State Fair Singers and Jazz Band for a while, for 2 summers, and was also selected twice to perform in the Des Moines Symphony's Youth Symphony. Upon graduation, Ryan headed to the University of Iowa for his undergraduate work. Then he headed west to the University of Colorado for his master's and doctorate degrees. Dr. Van Gilder currently is a lecturer in trombone and jazz studies at Colorado State University, Pueblo. His duties include teaching applied trombone lessons, directing the jazz studies program, which includes directing Jazz Ensemble 1, teaching various music courses, and assisting with the Thunderwolves Marching Band as the brass technical advisor. An active trombonist, Ryan performs regularly throughout Colorado as principal trombone of the Pikes Peak Brass Band and the Boulder Chamber Orchestra, as well as numerous groups around the state. He's also been a featured soloist performing classical and jazz solos. He's also a member of the Pikes Peak Versatile Brass, who won a national championship at the North American Brass Band Association contest in 2018. As an educator, Ryan has worked with schools and honor bands throughout the state of Colorado, including directing the Colorado All-State Jazz Band. His students have been selected to all-state bands and orchestra, as well as local honor bands and jazz festivals, including students who have gone on to pursue music careers as well as music degrees at the collegiate level. Ryan is originally from Jefferson, attended the University of Iowa for his bachelor's degree, also mentioned his doctorate and master's degree from the University of Colorado. He lives in Pueblo, Colorado with his partner Helen, their dog Melba, and their bearded dragon Wedge. You never know what fine arts people are gonna have. I am gonna say this, we have an athletic hall of fame too. I never get stuff like this. Which is great. I love seeing this. When not playing trombone, Ryan enjoys watching football, which he calls soccer, playing video games, bicycling, and enjoying the mountains of Colorado. While he couldn't be here with us tonight, Ryan did send a video to share his remarks. Let's welcome Ryan Van Gilder to the Greene County Fine Arts Hall of Fame.
Hi, my name is Ryan Van Gilder. I am so honored to be inducted into the Greene County Fine Arts Hall of Fame. Music has been a central theme in my life, and I am humbled to be recognized by this organization. Growing up, I remember hearing of athletes getting into the Sports Hall of Fame, and I think it is so awesome for Jefferson Scranton to also have an Arts Hall of Fame to celebrate the accomplishments of fine arts students. I got my start in music in the halls of Jefferson Scranton, so this truly means a lot to me. I am sorry that I'm unable to be there in person. I'm in the midst of finals week here at the university and wish that I could be there with you all to celebrate this evening. Since high school graduation, I attended the University of Iowa and the University of Colorado, pursuing degrees in music performance, culminating in the Doctorate of Musical Arts. I live in Colorado, performing trombone throughout the state, and am lecturer in trombone and jazz studies here at Colorado State University, Pueblo. I want to thank those who nominated me and the committee for their support of my induction into the Hall of Fame. Thank you for thinking of me and supporting my nomination. I want to thank all of my music educators who guided me to become the musician and educator that I am today. Beginning with Sue Turner in 5th grade band. I picked the trombone that year, and even though I put a totally embarrassing extra stinger note at the very end of the Thunder March on my very first concert, thankfully it didn't stop me from continuing on in music. I'd also like to thank Dick Bent and Matt Shute, my middle school band directors, who encouraged me to take a trombone solo to solo contest for the very first time. And I surprised everyone when this super shy kid stood up and played a solo confidently in front of a full audience. I'd like to thank Becky Greene, my high school band director, who brought me to many honor bands, including helping me achieve all-state selection in my junior and senior years. Also, I'd like to thank my piano instructor, Sherry Sloan, and my high school vocal instructor, Dave Heitman. I actually continue to play piano and sing in the courses that I teach today, and wouldn't be able to without the foundation they both gave me on these alternate instruments. And finally, I would like to thank my family, and especially my parents, Don and Jean Van Gilder. They noticed my musical interest at a very young age and encouraged me to be involved in music and have supported me throughout my musical career. They attended countless performances throughout middle school and high school, including driving all over the state to watch me perform with the Celebration Iowa Singers and Jazz Band. Even though I picked literally the loudest instrument possible in the band, my parents tolerated all of my practice hours in the home. In fact, I probably should issue an apology to our neighbors for stretching the limit of the city's noise ordinance. Uh, but in all seriousness, my parents' support has been truly invaluable, and I wouldn't be where I am today without their love and their encouragement. I believe that the fine arts are an indispensable form of self-expression. My involvement in music has helped me to become the person that I am today. I'm very thankful that I'm in a position now to help encourage other young people to pursue careers in music. And I hope that others in Greene County continue to follow their passion in fine arts. Thank you to everyone who has helped make this Hall of Fame induction possible for me, and also possible for upcoming generations of fine arts students at Greene County High School. Thank you all, and have an excellent concert tonight.
Our next inductee is Dan Rasmussen. Dan is a 2006 graduate of Jefferson Scranton. While a student at JS, he earned all-state recognition all 4 years, being named to the chorus each time. He was also part of a duet and 2 madrigals that earned the Outstanding Performer Award at State Solo and Ensemble Contest. Along with those achievements, he also received multiple Division I ratings and was selected to the Opus Honor Choir. He jumped the border to complete his undergraduate work at Northwest Missouri State University, receiving a bachelor's degree in music education and a Bachelor of Science degree in broadcasting. He attributes his love of teaching choir to the music experiences, both band and choir, he received at Jefferson Scranton High School from Matt Shute, Marty Brendan, Dave Heupel, and Becky Greiner. Another reason for Dan's love of performing arts was seeing his local community support the arts by bringing traveling musical acts like Celebration Iowa to Jefferson numerous times. The ability to see high-quality music productions in a small town was an inspiration and encouraged him to audition and perform with this exact group during the summer for his last 2 years of high school. At Liberty Public Schools, Dan received the Teacher of the Year award within his school building in 2015. He's a proud member of the American Choral Directors Association and the Missouri Music Educators Association. In the choral community, he has served as a clinician for various honor choirs. He even had the honor to return to Iowa to present interest sessions at the Iowa Choral Directors Association and direct and perform with his barbershop chorus, Central Standard, as a featured ensemble during the summer conference one year. Dan has been a member of the Barbershop Harmony Society ever since singing in the Barbershop Quartet in his university's production of The Music Man. Since joining, he has competed in numerous quartets and was a Central States District Quartet champion in 2017 with the group Vintage Stock. He also competed at the international contest held by BHS with the perennial medalist chorus Central Standard. Dan is finishing his 11th year at Liberty Public Schools in the Kansas City Metro. He's the director of choirs at Liberty Middle School. At LMS, he teaches 6th grade, 7th and 8th grade men's and women's choir, and 7th, 8th grade audition choir. He also is music director for the middle school musicals and assists in school plays and vocal ensembles throughout the district. Currently, he lives in Liberty with his better half, Crystal, and their 2 boys, Charlie and Quincy. Other family members include David Rasmussen, Joanne Rasmussen, Lisa Rasmussen Hott, and Katie Rasmussen Greene. Let's welcome Dan Rasmussen to the Greene County.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to do something a little bit out of the ordinary. And now I was going to sing during the speech, but then I realized I'm sitting next to a voice professor. Give me a moment and I will collect my composure, and here we go. First, I do want to thank everyone in this committee for thinking of me for this wonderful recognition. It is certainly one of the most meaningful and personal honors that I've ever received. And I am just very proud and flattered to be standing here in front of you this evening. That being said, for you young people, this is what we call a record. Okay? This record is from a musical called Pippin. I received this record when I was about 12 or 13 years old from the office of Dave Heupel. It was one day I came over with Matt Shute looking for a song from this musical, and he dug in some cabinet, Heupel did, and pulled out a record and said, yeah, take this. That was my first interaction with him, in which we went home and I played this on our record player many nights. The reason why I bring this record to you is that it became a huge part of my life because one of the first songs from the show was a song called Corner of the Sky. And one of the lines is, every man has his daydreams, every man has his goals. People like the way dreams have of sticking to the soul. Rain comes after thunder, winter comes after fall. Sometimes I want my life to be something more than long. And he goes on saying that there are things in the world that just feel right to you. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. Now, if you don't know the show, the antagonist Pippin is the son of Charlemagne, and he's just finished his university, and he's trying to figure out what is his purpose in life. And growing up in this town, I didn't know what my purpose was. I always knew that I loved music, and that love was made very evident by the education that I received, courtesy of this school district. It was at the hands of people like Matt Shute, where every beginning of the year you would learn, we're going to Kentucky, we're going to the fair. Or the moment you would awake in the middle of the night thinking, strawberry pie, give me some. That was a stopping cadence for marching band, and you never forgot it. And then there were other music educators like Marty Brendan, who came in, and the way that he had to connect with students was incredible. This was a man that we would try to guess his middle name, and he would just lie and make us guess every name in the book. Or he would come up to us and be like, you know that weird metal band Slipknot? I'm a fan of theirs. In fact, I'm going to go to their music videos, see if you can find me. He would say anything to relate to us. And at the same time, as soon as he got that connection, was able to teach us the next step to our music education. Follow middle school, going on to the amazing big leagues of high school, where you have the powerhouses of Becky Greiner and, of course, Dave Heupel, where you do not understand how important it is to get to every all-state morning rehearsal with your quartet, because if you do that, everybody, you have the chance to win breakfast pizza from either Casey's or Come and Go, whichever quartet that most people arrive to their morning rehearsals. These are the things that you remember. And it was that kind of culture and safety that I felt that allowed me to try all the different things. Like in this musical, Pippin tries many different avenues of life. In part of the show, he tries being a painter. In part of the show, he just tries to be a mom. In part of the show, he tries to be part of the church. And he ends up on a farm. Kind of fitting, it's part of Iowa. Okay. Let me go back to my notes. I guess what I'm trying to say is he could not have explored all those things if he didn't have the safety net and comfort of the community that he was in. And I'm so thankful because it's not just this community, but it's also my own personal community. I think of my sisters, my younger sister Katie, who had the most gorgeous voice, is probably one of the most positive people ever to live, because she puts up with me and my family and is still able to say kind words. My older sister, who I get to share this type of job with, I teach middle school choir, she teaches middle school. We have the wonderful thing at holidays where we commiserate, and then we get to share, like, ooh, what's the new exciting June musical? You should do this, you should try that. And then, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't thank my parents. A lot of people think just because you are very musical, it means that you came from a very musical family. And I realize how that sounded. Well, let me keep going. It isn't to say that my parents are not musical, But music for us was not just a discipline, it was a way of life. I assume any kid who's really naturally good at athletics probably started working out with their parents when they were young, going on runs with them when they're going out the door. Well, my family, we just sang a lot. We had songs to get up in the morning. We knew if we were in bed and dad would come in, good morning, good morning. We would just grumble and pull the blankets over our heads. We had songs to go to bed. We had songs to clean up after. We had songs for chores to make them seem less monotonous. We were singing all the time, not because our parents were like, okay, we gotta make them sing so they could be really good musicians. Here we go. It's just what we did. As a middle school educator, I'm a firm believer of that balance between music as an academic and an enrichment. And the enrichment side, sometimes you can never fully see until you're past school. So lastly, I need to thank you as a community, because it's our community that made it a safe place for me to see music. It was our community, the people who brought different types of music to this town, that allowed me to dream a little bit bigger, to really look for my corner of the sky. Because the punchline is, at the very end of the show, Pippin actually is at the very end, and he goes, "It never was there, I think it was here." And all I can say is I'm very proud, humble, and honored to accept this award tonight, and it's because of you. Thank you so much.
Mr. Heupel is excited to have you back, Dan, because the other day he was looking for that record. He'd like to have it. Moving on. Our next inductee is Michael Hoskins. Michael is a 2011 graduate of Jefferson Scranton during his years in high school. He made a name for himself in the speech program, being named to All-State 6 times, 5 individual events, and for group improv. In addition to having success, Michael utilized his gifts to help mentor younger speech participants during his senior year. He was also active in concert band and jazz band all 4 years and received outstanding jazz solo awards at various jazz festivals. And while Michael didn't make the arts his career, he utilized the skills learned to become a leader in service to his country. He graduated from Iowa State University with a BS in history and minor in military studies, and was commissioned into the U.S. Army as a second lieutenant from the Iowa State Army ROTC program and assigned to the Iowa National Guard. As an officer in the 1st Battalion, 168th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Hoskins served in multiple roles and special assignments. As a rifle platoon leader, heavy weapons platoon leader, heavy weapons executive officer. In the fall of 2020, Lieutenant Hoskins was promoted to captain and given command of the Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 168th Infantry Regiment, the battalion's heavy weapons company. In 2022, Captain Hoskins was reassigned for the final time to be the Chief Planning Officer and Assistant Operations Officer for the 1st Battalion, 168th Infantry, where he planned several training events and named operations. Captain Hoskins has been awarded the Army Commendation Medal with Bronze Oak Leaf Cluster, Army Reserve Component Achievement Medal with Bronze Oak Leaf Cluster, Iowa Commendation Medal, and Iowa Leadership Ribbon with Torch Device. Captain Hoskins resigned his commission and retired from the Iowa National Guard in 2023 after 12 years of service to focus on family, career, and the farm. In his civilian career, Michael spent 3 years in North Platte, Nebraska, working for Union Pacific Railroad as a manager of terminal operations, responsible for locomotives, cars, and crews for the Union Pacific coal fleet in Nebraska. He returned to Iowa in 2019 to do what he loves and currently works as an automotive diesel service technician at Woodhouse Buick GMC in Omaha and has obtained multiple master technical certifications through Automotive Service Excellence and General Motors. Currently lives in Glenwood with his wife Cody and son Henry. His parents are Kevin and Deborah Hoskins. Let's welcome and congratulate Michael Hoskins to the Greene County Fine Arts Hall of Fame.
Now, musical folks are done. Now time for the speech kids. We've got about 15 pages, and I'm about to derail this whole thing. It is with great honor and a humbled heart that I stand before you this evening to accept such a meaningful award. But before getting any further, I would like the record to show that 2 of those large group performances also belong to Curtis Rice. Curtis, we are forever remembered for Santa Boot Camp, and there's no situation that dynamite and helicopters couldn't get us out. Without you, I would have just been talking to myself. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you to the committee for this honor, and most of all, thank you to my folks for their never-ending support in making the tour of Iowa every Saturday, to all the large group, individual, jazz, and band events that happened in rotation throughout the spring semesters of my high school years. Taking a line at face value from the play Twelfth Night, William Shakespeare writes, "Be not afraid of greatness. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and others have greatness thrust upon them." I'm a firm believer that all the young men and women who will be performing and recognized tonight are born with greatness. I believe that all will achieve greatness in their chosen passions. But out of all this, I know for certain that these young men and women will have greatness thrust upon them before they go out to make their mark on the world. I would argue there is no greater school district in the state for all core classes and extracurricular activities, from construction and automotive to foreign language and fine arts. We're big enough to have the resources available so that students can participate in any activity they want, and small enough that they aren't forced to choose between one or the other. We're also fortunate enough that our staff members are there to watch the next generation grow and discover their own talents, because a handful of our teachers also taught our parents. And there's something to be said about the quality of educators we have when so many of my classmates chose to follow in their footsteps, and several of them filled the ranks of our school district today. Each mentor we had exuded their own quiet greatness, and each one of them able to draw out the greatness we are born with in a way only they could do, and push us far beyond what we believed our limits to be. Mentors like Matt Shute, Kyra Babcock, Marty Brendan, Becky Greiner, Pat Johansson, Glenna Strong, and Karen Uni, who happened to direct our high school play my freshman year. Now, most of my accomplishments were made in the realm of competition speech, but I feel the need to start with the music department, because we know that concert band and concert choir are just gateway activities to more serious activities like jazz and competition speech. Matt Shute departed for another school district in my middle school years, but not before solidifying my love for the trombone and entertaining my desire in subsequent attempts to play the bugle. Kyra Babcock filled his shoes and taught us courage and perseverance in the face of adversity, because on multiple occasions we weren't the greatest pupils. Marty Brendan, one of the kindest individuals I've ever known, watched me grow my entire musical career. He had the remarkable ability to make you strive for greatness without doing a thing. My freshman year, I found myself in jazz band. I don't really remember how that story shakes out, but I'm pretty sure after basketball practice, I went to hang out in the band room, like all cool kids did. And Mrs. Becky Greiner said, "Grab your horn and come try it." And then for the next 4 years, I continued to show up and try it. She was the only one who would let you pick through sheet music for an instrumental solo, and once you finally settled on a piece, she would smile her sweet smile and say, "No, Michael, you're going to play this one." And then hand you a piece that was twice as hard, and somehow you still admire her for it. Each one of those mentors, great in their own way. Competition speech for me began the year after Teresa Waller left. The new era of speech competition at Jefferson Scranton had Glenna Strong and Pat Johansson at the helm. Speech is a beast. Like choral events, there is nothing between you and the audience. Instrumental solos, I had a trombone and sometimes a music stand to hide behind. Another big difference with speech was that most of the time you were presenting something you came up with yourself. Not only were you worried about your ability to present, but you were also worried about whether you were going to see the judge's brain go control-alt-delete, wondering if what they had just witnessed really happened. For whatever reason, I found that exciting. Pat and Glenna's unfailing confidence in me is what allowed me so easily to bring all those poems, stories, and speeches alive. Never once did they doubt my ability. I doubt they realized that That 5-minute speech on the Civil War they helped me create that secured my 6th All-State nomination, and double formal work my senior year would go on to become a 90-minute lecture I did on 2 occasions for the Iowa State University History Department. But I also doubt they'd be surprised. What was more special than the certificates, medals, and ovations for our accomplishments was seeing our teachers, coaches, and mentors in the back of a cramped classroom with the heat cranked all the way up on a winter Saturday, grinning from ear to ear and swelling with pride while they watched us perform. Whether we nailed it or maybe botched the finger 3, the smile never faltered. That was the true reward. And something even more special than the plaque that I hold now is seeing many of those faces that were at the back of those rooms all here together, looking at me in the same way they did those years ago. I've had few greater honors than being entrusted to lead our brothers, sisters, sons, and daughters that choose to wear the uniform of our great nation's armed forces, a handful hailing from this community. Our paths may differ, but the greatest honor for me and the source of the greatness that was thrust upon all of us here tonight just happens to be the answer I always give when asked where home is. It is that little farm community in west central Iowa called Greene County. Thank you.
And our final inductees tonight are going in as an ensemble acting group known as Unsure Thing. And I want to note that I'm a little bit nervous about what's going to take place when these 2 guys get up here. Because rumor has it they were going to speak at graduation and they were required to give their copy of their speech to the principal before it started, so that gives me a little concern. The trio of Sarah Von Ozen, Von Tasio, Andrew Hoyt, and Matt Moraine capped their outstanding speech careers by receiving the Critics' Choice Award winners at the 2001 Large Group All-State Speech Festival. While these 3 are being inducted into the Hall of Fame as a group, each one of them individually have a Hall of Fame credentials. Andrew earned All-State speech recognition 11 times during his 4 years in high school, while Sarah and Matt were All-Staters 10 times. A combined 31 All-State speech appearances for this dynamic trio. At the time, it was believed to be the most All-State appearances by anyone in the state. Those were the top 3. Upon graduation from high school, the 3 forged their own path. Sarah moved to Rome, Italy. A few years after graduating, she served as a missionary, Bible teacher, children's minister, and worship leader during her 19 years in Rome. Currently, she lives in Sioux City, Iowa, and works at Siouxland Christian School, where her children all attend. She and her husband, Marco, have 4 children, Benjamin, Abigail, Elizabetta, and Vivian. And she couldn't be here tonight because her son is having a concert tonight, so she stayed back to watch that, as she should. Andrew started his career in the nonprofit sector, primarily working with homeless teens and adults as director of residential operations at the Center for the Homeless in South Bend, Indiana. He then took a role as a director of campus ministry outreach to Europe for the University of Notre Dame. Based in Dublin, Ireland, Andrew's job was to travel around Europe, taking college students on pilgrimages and helping them to engage with their new environments through service and community-based learning. He spent 4 years teaching and coaching as one of the founding faculty members at Cristo Rey Jesuit College Preparatory in Houston, Texas. Holding a PhD from the University of Notre Dame, he worked and studied in the Center for Research on Educational Opportunity. Currently, he is the founding head of school at the Portage School of Leaders, an innovative public charter high school in South Bend. Matt has been a professional writer for 20 years. He holds a PhD in communication, rhetoric, and professional communication from North Carolina State University, and he earned his master's at Iowa State before that. Professionally, he has been at Red Hat, Inc. for 11 years, currently as an associate creative director of copywriting. Before Red Hat, he taught classes as a college instructor, worked in the governor's office as a public servant. He slung cards as a blackjack dealer, dug ditches, mowed lawns, maybe babysat, I don't know if he did or not, and one time had a Nintendo tips line. He's a 3-time defending Great Durham pun champion, and regretfully beat his uncle to reclaim the title of Greene County Spelling Bee champion. Those credentials have lapsed. He left Iowa in 2008 to pursue his PhD in Raleigh, North Carolina, and he stuck around there buying an old fixer-upper in the woods in 2016. Here's more of his stats. He has 16 axes, all of which that have names. He lives with his partner of 6 years, Sarah, a Cairn Terrier of 15 years, Kai, and Sarah's cat of 12 years, Jade, who has successfully turned Matt into a certified cat daddy. As the youngest of four, Matt had the luxury of branching out. He's grateful for that opportunity, and he's a proud uncle of 6 kids. Let's welcome the 2001 Critics' Choice Award winners, ensemble acting group Unsure Thing, Andrew Hoyt, Matt Moraine, Sarah Von Ozen Bontaggio to the Greene County Fine Arts Hall of Fame.
Matt has, as you heard, Matt has been away for quite a while, so I'm going to translate it for you.
Proszę prego, ty mogę some tukam kari with the cario is some shik show based on the age.
Good evening, thank you for having us.
Richtem in stusti, which the gosti, Chipobre, Vista Dusta, Vista Vista Batusta. Vista was the Escusti.
Sarah, we are so sorry.
Multa osta. Bastam Coupe.
So Matt is saying he remembers when we were 8th graders that we came home from our faith formation classes and told our parents, we're going to be speech babies. And I don't think our parents knew what that meant at the time. We didn't either. But Teresa Lawler had told us, you're going to be speech babies. And you're going to be good at it. And 4 years later, we had racked up the accolades that Dave read this evening, and that's all thanks to our incredible speech coach and high school English teacher, Teresa Lawler. It was a legend in our minds and in the minds of many. This is Teacher Appreciation Week. This week right now. Yeah, thanks a lot. This is Teacher Appreciation Week this week, and we are here really to appreciate Lawler and to praise her for her contributions to our lives and the lives of so many speech babies across the years. I want to read a short section of a letter that we found to the executive director of the Iowa High School Speech Association that we wrote when we were seniors in high school. And it's just to put into context that every year there's a sweepstakes winner in the speech competitions. And in the large group, the sweepstakes winner is the team that has the most performing. But an individual isn't necessarily that case. And so we wrote a letter from the 3 of us trying to get Lawler an award or something during that final year. And so we say this. As you know, every year at the large group All-State Festival, the Sweepstakes Award is given to the team with the most performing. However, in individual events, it is not the most performers. This year, to Butte Hempstead and win the Sweepstakes trophy, they have 8 performers at the All-State Festival, which is a lot. Teresa Lawler's team will have 12 performers this year. So there were 12 Jefferson Scranton students performing, far and above any of the other high schools in the entire state of Iowa. And Lawler did that. She was really a coach by herself. She had support from many parents and folks that were in the room, but she was doing that really on her own. It was an incredible achievement during that time. We also had the incredible opportunity to be in speech competition with our siblings. My sister Katie was All-State the same year as us one year. Matt and I got to perform with his brother Dave one year in a group improv at the All-State Festival. My brother Stephen is a multiple time All-State student himself. It was this incredible community that she had formed. And there was a hunger for that community because she was there to give us feedback, to make us better.
and she made everybody feel like they belonged. Everybody felt like they could go there and belong. And oftentimes we were doing what we're doing right now, which is making something up on the spot, or we have written our own plays. Unsure Thing is a joke. So there's a Neil Simon play called Sure Thing that everybody does in small group. And it's the thing, you've seen it before, somebody snaps and the other person freezes, and then you talk about, like they break the fourth wall. So so we knew there was gonna be some other thing that made it to All-State called Sure Thing, so we titled ours Unsure Thing, just to make the program look silly. But we wrote that ourselves, and Lawler encouraged people to write their own one-act pieces or ensemble acting pieces, oftentimes going up against classics. And that combination of trying to help kids reach mastery and really get better, giving them a sense of identity, you belong here, you're speech babies, you're speech performers, you're artists, and then giving them that openness for creativity. You make your contributions. That's what makes arts educators so incredible. And up here tonight, if you're like us, you've listened to people talk about their teachers and what an incredible influence they had on their lives, whether or not they went into the arts. So we want to say thank you to whoever nominated us for this, which was a risky idea, I agree. We want to say thank you to Sarah, to all the people that we performed with and were our teammates, to our parents, to our families, but especially to the arts educators in Greene County, and to Greene County for having an Arts Hall of Fame. That is a spectacular thing. So let's say thank you to all those teachers. Anything else? Oskiwawa. Oskiwawa.
Once again, I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. Thank you to all of you for making the trip here, coming back and putting your schedules together for this. I know it's a hectic time, but we appreciate you coming here. And I thank everyone for attending. We will be having our spring concert coming up here directly after the ceremony. It's going to start a few minutes after that. We invite you to stay for that. If you guys could stay, we'd appreciate it. We won't make you do this again, but we will recognize you in between the band and the choir. But once again, want to thank everyone for coming out. And we have great fine arts here. We have for years, and every year that we get nominees, it's just impressive to see what people have gone on to do, and I'm very happy that we're able to get to experience them coming back and sharing memories and entertaining us again at times. So that's good. So thank you for coming, and once again, we invite you to stay for the concert coming up here at 7:30. So the band will start first. Thank you.